Sorry for covering this late, but I was busy with some Phantasy Star stuff. Anyhow, Xur has brought some amazing treasures this week, so if you haven't stopped by, please pick these up. He's got Orpheus rigs, which are okay, Citan Ramparts, which is a pretty good roll, and Lunafaction boots, which are an incredible roll. Today's video is going to focus more on the Citan Ramparts because I've already done Lunafaction in the past, so you can check that out in the description below if you want to see my Xur coverage on Lunafaction boots. This is a similar roll, however I think this is just overall a better roll of the Lunafaction boots. So now in the background, you're seeing Citan Ramparts at work. You throw a barricade down and you can shoot through the barricade, but the barricade has less health and less duration. Over the course of the last few months, plural, I have min-maxed my stats to have 9 resilience, 9 recovery, and 9 intellect because this is the best mix of being able to play somewhat aggressive, yet also punish a campy playstyle. Overall, this build has made Destiny playable for me again because at this point, Destiny is a solved meta, which means that majority of my opponents understand the best way to play to win, and doing that doesn't take all that much skill. What I'm referring to is teams cranking the intellect stat, which charges their super as high as possible, playing very passively in the back of the map, using a sword hilt or remote to see third person, and not worrying about an objective because it's too far away to matter. And they expect the other team to push them. But if you're also playing to win, nobody moves. And it's pretty much just a very small tug of war between two sniper rifles, which, in the first place, don't really take much effort to land a headshot with. So you'll often see teams doing like partial commit rotations around the map until their sniper can pick somebody off. And once the sniper picks somebody, it becomes a game of speed. So you see Stompy Hunters fly in, Dune Marcher Titans fly in with the shoddy probably ready to punch somebody and chain lightning, or of course Top Tree Dawnblade throw a solar grenade at the orb of a downed enemy, and then fly in with double Icarus dash, using their sniper rifle as a glorified shotgun, and if that doesn't do the trick, they'll just throw their melee across the map, or their Titan friend will recover health or something like that, and be teleporting all over the place because of melee registration. Overall, the meta feels like a very boring game of cat and mouse, or rather I should say cat and cat, because everyone's really scared of each other and just runs away, until of course the sniper shoots somebody and instant kills them by windshield wipering the mouse over their head with a swiftness that can only be topped by, of course, the speed at which they complain on Twitter about controller users, even though they make fun of an input device that is like training wheels on a bike when they themselves ride a tricycle. So now back to the point of the video. What Citan Ramparts enable is you get to put up a barricade that you can shoot through, and they get to look really dumb with a flashlight while you get to put damage in. Or, if they want to sit behind cover third person, you start using the grenade launcher and putting chip damage in for free. And before anyone pipes up in the comment section about me ruining the Crucible by making more people use these kind of barricades, know that there is a very good counter against these barricades. You can either team shot with primaries, waste your sniper bullets, or use a shotgun, or in the best case, a bastion to just completely nuke the barricade and the person inside. In fact, on most of these videos, I know a lot of people just look at the title and then write something very angry in the comment section without actually watching the video, and that pains me because I pour my heart and soul into some of these videos and forget about that conveniently, and then I'm like, why did I even put this effort in? They're just not going to watch the video. So do me a favor in the comment section and write, good tip about that bastion countering the barricade or something like that. That way, so when the salty commenter writes, oh no, all I'm gonna see is Citan Ramparts in the Crucible. Thanks, Cammy. They can instead be thanking me for upping their KD ratio because they're farming people who are standing behind barricades because they know to simply just fly at them with Bastion. So this kind of opens up a combat triangle in a sense. The barricade counters the snipe counters the Bastion, and the Bastion counters the barricade. What's this? Instead of a game of rock, where nobody moves from the back of the map, it's now rock, paper, scissors, where there is a chance you get into a gunfight. Hopefully, don't quote me on this, stasis brings more dynamic to the Crucible, where it's even better than rock, paper, scissors. But time will tell, we will see. Anyhow, the gameplay in the background has been showing a 1v3 with Citan Ramparts, where I can throw up the barricade to safely pick somebody off who was out of position, and then the enemy sort of just sits still and does nothing, which is only playing into my advantage because we had already won a single round, meaning our super economy is better. Even though I am one single person, I'm still going to get the first super of the match, which is a free win because I can just block on the capture point. So these people have to push me. They don't have the luxury of sitting around. Sure, if they want to play the macro efficient long game, then yes, they can charge 3 supers, I win this round, and maybe then they win 3 in a row. But I play a Titan and I have a suppressor nade. So it's not a 100% guarantee that they're even going to do anything with those supers to begin with, because it's that simple as me just switching to suppressor nade. Now, for a lot of you, you're going to find it very, very difficult to build your Titan with similar stat splits or even better stat splits. They do exist, but it's so unlikely that it's not even worth going for. What you want is some high resilience, so somewhere in like the 6 to 10 range. You want some high recovery, somewhere in the 8 to 10 range. And then you want some high intellect, somewhere at least above 5. If you do all 3 of these, you now control the pace of the match, and that's the beauty of Citan Ramparts. So if you haven't already picked those up from Xur, do that. You'll get the armor later to complement it. Just get them now, in case this awful meta persists for even longer into stasis. Last week though, they did double reward Nightfalls, and I farmed the hell out of them trying to get Citan Ramparts, Dune Marchers, and One-Eyed Mask. This way my Titan would finally have some competitive options for all the game modes in the game. I'd of course have my degenerate playstyle counterplay, I would have my Iron Banner, oh no, a 6 stack, let's throw this on so that we can make the match more interesting, and then my, hey, I kind of want to review a weapon, let's throw on One-Eyed Mask and get a free overshield. Needless to say, I got all 3, so I am absolutely behind double reward Nightfalls. In fact, I think there should be even better ways to guarantee good loot so that you could spend more time playing with good builds, with alternate builds, exploring the game, rather than doing the same monotonous activity over and over again in a game without a trading economy. Especially when sunsetting is looming over us, threatening our gear to be redundant in a year. That rhymed. Anyway, back on subject here. After getting a taste of double reward Nightfalls on my Titan and gearing up my Titan and having options, I want those on my other 2 characters now. So I want to make some Hunter builds and some Warlock builds to lead me into Beyond Light. So that's what I'm going to be passively working on in these next few weeks. I'm going to be farming the dungeon and maybe doing Nightfalls here and there to try to gear up my Hunter and Warlock with a variety of options. Again, something to counter degenerate playstyle, something for 6s, and something to assist me in turnover time for weapon and gear reviews. The final thing I wanted to mention on this video, I didn't want this to be the main topic of it, but I am going to mention it, is that Citan Ramparts are extremely good against people who cheat. People who toggle the aimbot, people who have the wall hacks. You will frustrate the hell out of a cheater, because there's nothing they can really do, because most of the time the cheater isn't too familiar with the game. And I gotta say, I've been looking at other gaming communities. Cheating is becoming a widespread problem. It's not just Destiny, it's every game. And if trends are anything to go off of, the cheating's just going to get worse because people are bored indoors with all the pandemic stuff going on. They see someone else cheating and then they feel the need to cheat themselves, either to get revenge or because, hey, if they're not getting banned, obviously, then I'm not getting banned, obviously. And that's not the call. I'd rather just not participate at that point. Like, yes, I get it. The, content creator versus hacker, cheater, whatever, and then the content creator wins. Yeah, it's good content. People will watch that. But it doesn't really do anything for the overall problem. If I beat a cheater, they're just going to assume that I'm using better cheats. And they're going to look for upgrades. It's not going to make them stop. They're just going to hardware spoof. They're going to VPN away from a different IP address and buy another cheap account to do it again. There's not really a rhyme or reason. Sure, you could say it's power dynamic or something like that, but really, it's just their form of fun. They don't have any morality to it, so you can't expect them to logically think about it. And this isn't even considering the monetary incentive of cheating, like in combo with an account recuv or something like that, which just sucks overall, that they don't get punished harder for that kind of thing. But I'm not going to dwell on the cheating subject for too long. I might make a dedicated video for this just to elaborate on this, which is I can't control cheating. I'm not anti-cheat. Yes, I can clown on cheaters and beat them, but ultimately it just makes the game unfun to not play human opponents. So I would rather just not play something that isn't fun. And normally as a content creator, this entire premise would stress me out, but thankfully it doesn't, because I've been on the side investing into learning to edit and entertain a stream and whatnot, to where I don't have to play a PvP game to maintain. I can just explore single player games or really difficult PvE games, some MMOs, etc., and do content based off of those, because even if somebody cheats, I can just choose not to and still have a great time. So quite possibly, depending on what happens in the future, I'm going to be doing a lot of videos like that Resident Evil video I did a while back, where it's just me playing a single player game, memeing around and having a good time. And I trust my craft enough to deliver some form of an entertaining video. So thanks for sticking around for that ride while I find my bearings exploring new territory. And to answer the question, does this mean you're quitting Destiny? No, I'm still going to play Destiny. I'm just keeping my options open and not setting myself up for the hype train to crash into the station. I mean, it always happens. Destiny has so much potential in the individual facets of the game. Like Year 1 PvP, it had the potential to go the competitive route. They just needed to continually give it some love and care on updates. But I can say the same thing about Gambit. Gambit had the recipe for a success, but it just wasn't given updates and love and care. And in Beyond Light, it seems like Stasis might be the recipe for some really engaging Destiny PvE. But rather than get distracted by what something Destiny related could be, I'm just gonna have fun until I don't, and then just play something else. Of course, I'll post my regular Destiny videos trying to be somewhat of a Destiny encyclopedia to make my subscribers' time playing the game a little bit better, but it's not like I'm gonna be dedicating 18 hours a day going hard in the paint for something I don't enjoy. This is not gonna happen. So, thanks for listening to all my extended rambling. Hopefully, you don't forget to pick up the Citan Ramparts and the Lunafaction boots, and I guess the Telesto if you don't have them. And normally I stream live at twitch.tv/camicakes, but this time I'm going to be offline because I've been playing a lot of story-driven content, and a Twitch chat can be a little distracting for that when I just want to pay attention to the story. And there is a new Phantasy Star expansion coming around the corner, so I'll pretty much be grinding that 18 hours a day on stream. So that'll be very soon. I'll see you guys later. Again, thanks for checking out the video. You're the best.